Hawkins.
Zola Salena-Hawkins. Ah, I gained the uppers on you this evening.
Oh my.
Let me hear. Let me explain how it's going to be. Please come and take a seat.
Okay. You're in my
Fooled
seat.
you, huh?
Yes,
Fooled
you did. You're in my seat. What's up?
Yeah. I thought we might have a change of format this evening.
Oh, okay.
You know, for days on end, for quite a while,
Mm-hmm.
you've been doing a moment in time with me.
Yes.
So I thought this evening, you know, you see my setup. I see your trophies behind you.
Oh my! You moved them behind me.
And
okay.
you see your sword there on there.
Oh, you got my dowel here.
I got your dowel.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you to.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you to explain that in a short moment. But first, I'd like to explain that the program that we're doing, I don't want to call it a program. Let's say a conversation we're having is called a moment in time. And for quite a little while, my friend here, my best friend, the woman I love, my wife,
Hi.
love that gown,
Thank you.
has been interviewing me in a series that we call A Moment in Time. So I decided to do a little switcheroo tonight and put her on the spot and have her answer these complex questions and so forth and so on. First of all, that's where it starts. That's where we're going to go. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hold on one second. Let me make sure.
Have you got to go to the bathroom?
No.
I thought you had taken care of that before we decided to sit down.
Yes, I have.
Oh.
I just wanted to make sure you surprised me, and I wasn't sure if I had hit the record button.
Oh.
I was just...
Shocked
me, yes. I'm like, okay.
Well, first, I want to get to some remarkable things that I can talk to you about that occur on this page. But in addition to the things you have behind you, the trophies, and you picked up that cutlass there that you look like it came from Barnacle the pirate or something.
Yes.
What do you got there?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk about him and them and that.
Okay.
But first, let's go back to you.
Yes.
Where are you from?
I'm from a little place called Hackensack, New Jersey.
Hackensack. Wasn't Frank Sinatra from Hackensack?
Yes, Frank Sinatra.
Well, it's not such a little place after all of that.
Oh, go like this and you're out. I shouldn't talk bad about Hackensack. It offered a lot.
What was it like growing up there?
I remember the snow, right? Because my cousin Lamont was great at disappearing when it would snow. And
You're a little girl.
And I was a little girl.
How old?
I was about 8.
Okay, what was the
7,
business
8.
about escaping the snow?
Because he didn't want to shovel the snow.
Who was asking you to shovel snow?
My grandparents.
How old were you?
8, 9.
They introduced you to the work ethic soon.
Yes, they introduced me to the work ethic when I was maybe 3 or 4.
Really?
Yes, I remember sweeping down the steps with the whisk broom, and I had to hold it with both hands and go like this. And the steps were about up to my waist, I think. Okay, because I was a little girl, and they would tell me I was doing good. And
well, okay, I don't want to comment on child labor or anything, but
in a household, at least in the African American community, and I guess in other communities too, when a child is able to walk and talk, it's able to work.
There's a responsibility involved with what it is you're doing. Okay, what I'm going to do here, because we could take a lot of time and take you through many, many things. Your life has been so varied and so incredibly interesting that we would take.
And you brought so much more interest to it.
We'll deal with my part in a later episode. But I would like to start, since you have had such an extensive martial arts experience, I'd like to start talking about those. But first, I think we do have to discover your period of time spent with the Department of Justice. How long were you there? When did you start working?
Well, before we go even to that, work ethic, okay?
Yes, work ethic.
So in high school, I worked in the administration office.
Administration office.
Right, okay, and had to do something with records. And it was a great experience for wanting to have set goals, all right? Like, you know, one of the things was, you know, I loved history. The teachers were really great. The one main teacher I remember is Mr. Rice, Reverend Rice. And he taught history. And not black history, but just general American history, whatever. And I had a great teacher in gym. And so it made me have very competitive, you know, when we did archery, when we did fencing, when we did gymnastics. I was extremely
You had all of
competitive
that going on in us?
in high school. And the year that they did tap dancing, I had to take something else, so I couldn't do the tap dancing. But I enjoyed fencing, and I enjoyed gymnastics. I did the balancing beam. I did parallel bars. I did the horse. I also did track.
Okay, in some ways, these particular things were sort of like prerequisites for your martial arts.
This is very true.
Okay, but you said you were going to start talking about the Department of Justice and you went back to high school.
Okay, well.
Okay, let's get away from high school for a minute and fast forward into...
Department of
Justice. Because you spent how many years?
18.9.
At the Department of Justice.
Department of Justice, okay. And
we're not talking about bars, DOJ. We're talking about...
No, the Department of Justice.
Before bar was invented.
In the Ronald Reagan building down in Los Angeles, California. Okay, I was a legal secretary, and I aspired to be an attorney, but passing the state bar and baby bar was just a little bit more difficult than I realized, especially when you're working as hard as I was working. And so that dream of becoming an attorney didn't happen, but I was able to work with a fantastic attorney, well, many fantastic attorneys. One was attorney Lane Timonis, and she worked with child abduction in The Hague. And,
well, what does that mean?
Well, child abduction, international child abduction.
Oh, okay.
In The Hague, with The Hague. And it was, our office received the complaints, the cases regarding the kidnaps or the abduction of a child.
Okay, it's like an Iranian father and an Iranian couple, mother, husband and wife, separate, and the father takes the child back to Iran.
Right. Okay, and so our office worked as far as trying to get visitation. Okay, and was instrumental in helping people have visitation. They were also instrumental, like with the Japanese, they didn't have a means in their family law, you know, for like an American marries a Japanese and takes a child back to America. Okay, there was a process that had to be worked out.
Okay, is America a leading legal figure in that particular kind of resolution of...
Yeah, exactly. In fact, many states wish they had, well, they used California's model as an example of how to work these cases. And so worked with that. Also worked with appeals in the in briefs that we did to keep people in prison that were actually guilty.
Okay, I'm in prison and I write an appeal.
Right, okay, well, usually you'd have an attorney to write it. Right, okay.
Unless I was in jail.
Okay, right, okay. And it was a matter of us...
I would have been.
Okay, I bet you would have been. Thank God you weren't. The deputy attorney generals would respond to that, and the case would go before the Court of Appeals and maybe to the Ninth Circuit or the Supreme Court, and it would be resolved, and that was a very, very bad thing. Well, not bad. It was a interesting period of time because you were dealing with a lot of cases where the crimes were really horrific, you know, where people were killed for insurance and, you know.
I'm not going to even ask you to
go through that.
To tell me about one of them because I read a few of these briefs.
Right.
And I sent chills up my spine even thinking about it.
To get away from that, you know, I would go outside and exercise. Sometimes I had the pleasure of Lance Winters, who I think is now in charge of the department. He would join me and we would do some Tai Chi and some Qigong together. And eventually I ended up getting to know George Yen, who he would teach the 24 Tai Chi.
Okay, you keep bouncing ahead a little bit to the Tai Chi, to the martial arts aspect of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to get to that, but I'm trying to squeeze a little bit more out of you concerning the Department of Justice
it was
system and your experience there.
Well, very intense. I had one of the best supervisors, Tessie Ordonis. She was one of the best supervisors they had. People may have had
What makes someone the best supervisor at the Department of Justice?
Because she knew what she was doing.
Ah.
And if there was an extension or something and you needed someone with hands-on, Tessie knew how to do it. And unfortunately, not every supervisor was so well trained. And I think they...
Why didn't you become a supervisor? You were there for 18 years.
Well, Tessie and several people wanted me to become a supervisor, you know, but I decided that you can never please administration, and you certainly could never please all of the secretaries. And so I decided that it was not worth the anxiety.
You saved yourself.
I saved myself.
Saved
I was
yourself.
guilty for saving myself. And I worked enough. I did overflow. I was always available.
What is overflow?
Well, it's like if you don't have enough people to do a job or an attorney miscalendars something and the document needs to be filed that night.
I hate to keep stopping you, but you're using these esoteric terms that a lot of us, like miscalendars. What does miscalendar mean?
Well, like every month or whatever, the attorney he knew cases that had to be on a calendar. Or, you know, well, you could think of it as an actual calendar, but usually it was, you know, in his computer, what have you, and the court would send out a date that this item was supposed to be heard. And the attorney would have to make sure he was to appear down in the court to handle the case.
Oh,
okay. And sometimes docketing, which is where a lot of the documents would come in from the mail to the mailroom to docketing, and then docketing would disperse them to the attorneys or to the different departments. And sometimes the document would be misrouted or lost or didn't quite get where it was supposed to get.
okay. I'm not gonna wear you out about this, but what strikes me is that so many of us who are acquainted with the justice system by way of television shows and so forth, I don't think we even get even an inkling of what goes on behind the scenes underneath the broad picture, the big picture. So that's fascinating. You had 18 years of that.
18 years, like some fantastic attorneys, Susan Martinex, Susan Frierson, handled some serious cases that, you know, sometimes I was there till 9 p.m. working while my husband was waiting outside for me.
We weren't married then.
No, you weren't.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have waited. If we had been married, I would have left you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just thought I'd add a note of reality here.
Okay.
No, I wanted you, and I was willing to wait. But if we got married and you had to do that, then we would have to rethink our format.
Okay, well,
But no, I'm just kidding.
No, you were very understanding, very, very understanding. You know, sometimes you'd ask about the case, and I would tell you, especially there was a case where old women had been killed by a young man, and you know, and the case it was intense.
Okay.
And so you know, you were there for me, and I appreciated it. It helped me focus and be able to do the work that I was required to do as a secretary for the attorneys, so that the documents were filed timely.
You
Because
know,
I knew you had my back.
I've heard you talk about this from time to time, and I really think that the term secretary is not exactly inappropriate, but I don't think it quite fits the full spectrum of what it is that you've talked about doing while you were there.
Well, you know, I'm an
Most
old...
people think secretary, take dictation, go do so and so that.
Well, I'm an old school secretary. All right, I'll say that. I worked for attorney Audrey Boswell Jones. I also worked at Jacoby and Myers, and several others. I worked for attorney.
So you
Terrell
had a lot of legal experience
yeah,
before you went to the Department of Justice.
most definitely. And in the old school way, if the secretary was asked to make coffee, we made coffee. Okay, we ordered supplies. We made arrangements for trips that, you know, made the arrangements for an attorney to take a trip if it's necessary. You know, there are other things than the regular actual work for the day that you just did, you know, and it made it comfortable as a workplace, you know, because you were there and you were dependable. You came on time. You understood sometimes that you had to work late, and work got done.
Okay, there was another kind of protocol,
Right,
for want of a better word.
Well, you know, and you formed a relationship with your attorney, all right? There's Noah Hill who told me what freeway to take. You know, you do not want to take the Harbor Freeway down to L.A. You know, better to take the streets. And, you know, the attorneys, ZMR, who said, you know, do you need a ride home? And so you not only have a working relationship, but you, in a sense, have a family. You have an extended family with these individuals.
Okay, your experience would be very different than the kind of thing we see advertised on television where they say, bring your case to Jack and Jack. And,
yes.
you know, they show you a picture of 43 attorneys who may or may not be attorneys.
Well, when I worked with Jacoby and Myers, I'll not say any
You
more
worked for Jacoby and Myers?
I worked for Jacoby and Myers.
How long were you with them?
Several years. It was an interesting experience, and I won't say more than that.
We suspect that there's something else behind it, but let's moving right along.
Okay, but you know, also, you know, having great relationships with my coworkers. There's, you know, Lily Hood. There's Frances Conroy. There's Nora Fong, there's Cynthia Fu. There's so many others that have, you know, that interacted with me to help the work get done.
The endless work.
The endless work. There are people that, you know, had died in the process. There's Rhonda Jones. She was a great co-worker, hardworking individual, and she happened to pass away in the process of working and perhaps not taking care of her health. Like Tessie Ordonis, where you get so involved in your work and you don't take care of your health.
Okay, I think that's a good stepping off point for taking us into the martial arts. We do know that you survived the Department of Justice.
Yes.
And that you retired from the Department of Justice in
2017.
2017.
But prior to that, I got an award from Kamala Harris.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
I wish we had the picture here, but
I have the reward that I didn't
well,
bring
the
it
picture's
this time.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, so in 2017, you retired and became, it seems, very active in the martial arts. Let me share something with you, and we can have comments on what you'd like to say about this. You took us to high school with your training for the Olympics in parallel bars, gymnastic horse, balance beam, rope climbing.
Oh, that was so much fun. Oh, that was so much fun. Oh, sorry.
Are you with me or her? Gymnastic rings, floor exercise, also archery and fencing.
Yes.
Okay, 2000, you started capoeira training with Professor Odie Hawkins.
You.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We do know that capoeira regional and capoeira Angola are African-Brazilian martial arts. Her instructors in capoeira were Yves Martin,
Yeah.
Cedric Adams,
Yeah.
Dennis Newsom,
Yes.
Omoade Falade.
Yes.
So look at this. You got all of a sudden one 2, 3, 4, 5 people helping you to learn something about capoeira. Tell us a little bit about capoeira and what did you find in that?
A husband.
I think you had already found him before you got into, but yeah. You should say,
I didn't.
How about a husband in training?
A husband in training. But I didn't initially get into the capoeira. Like, you were teaching Russell. And, and...
Well, wait a minute. Let me stop here. Mm-hmm. That's a story. Mm-hmm. This is my wife.
Yes,
and what she can say, no, this is your moment.
Right.
And what happened is that her son came to me. I was doing workouts, which is what you have to do if you train in horse jumping or anything. Mm-hmm. I was working out on 122nd Street, right in front of the Kennedy King Hospital. There's a section in the back of the hospital. I don't know what it's like now with the new arrangement, but there was a section back in front of the back of the hospital where they had a medical library, and I liked the cobblestone, so I went back there to train. Capoeira is a perfect art to study on stone because it makes your feet tough and stuff. The son comes out and 2 or 3 times and asked me, "What's that?" And I told him best I could what it was, and he said, "I'd like to learn it." And the next thing I know, this cute little sister was coming to bring him lunch or talk to him or visit or whatever it was.
This time I was going to another job, Yeah.
During our training time, and you're on. Yes, you're on.
And I noticed Odie Hawkins, and I said,
we don't want to get mushy on anything.
Okay, and
love your ring.
My wedding ring. Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I got caught in a moment there.
Yes, I hear you. Anyway, so we ended up courting for a while. But, while you were also teaching me capoeira.
Yes, yes.
Right? And
the teacher was not taking advantage of the student. Let that be said.
Okay.
I was trying.
Yes. And so...
Consenting adults.
Right, okay. So you asked Russell if you could take me on a date, and I asked Russell if it was okay if I dated his teacher, and Russell said yes, and we ended up courting, we ended up still playing capoeira, and we've been playing ever since. But also, I learned with capoeira to play close, which was nice with capoeira Angola, to be aware of my surroundings, all right, and that when we went to the Y to learn kickboxing, and my opponents would say, "I can't hit you because you're playing too close," and I'm like, "That's okay, I don't mind." But
capoeira is a very interesting African Brazilian martial art. For those who may not be totally aware of it, Google capoeira Angola, capoeira regional, and find out what it's about. Okay, 2003 here, I'm looking at my chart. It says you began training with Master Tom Tran.
Yes, Master.
At Chue To Phat, Vietnamese Buddhist temple in Long Beach, California. This is Master Tom Tran.
Yes.
Yes. He looks like an old seer.
Yeah.
Vietnamese master. You started training with him, studying the 24 Tai Chi Chuan Yang style,
Right.
Wu style Tai Chi, Dao form 13, Tai Chi sword, Shaolin cane, Tai Chi fan. Note, Dr. Daniel Hoover also is a student of Master Tom Tran, Dr. Yuang's MT's teacher. Very interesting that you have all of these. Can you give us a little difference, an explanation of the difference between the 24 Tai Chi Chuan Yang style and Wu style?
Okay. It's
You don't have to get too deeply into it.
But with the Yang style, I think it's a little softer. The Wu style is a little bit more active. I think more, you have your fast and your slow. While with the 24 yang, it's
more
meditative, I think, more even. Okay, there are various other styles.
Okay, so you mentioned here Tai Chi sword, Shaolin cane, and Tai Chi fan.
Yes.
Okay, most of us, what is that?
Oh, this is my Dao.
What's the difference between a Dao and a sword?
Well, it is sword.
What do you do with that?
Oh, it's a form that I do, 24.
It's a form.
Yes.
And you use that.
And I use this, yes. It's nice.
It's okay, we understand.
It's nice.
We understand. That's the...
Dao.
How do you spell it? D-A-O.
Dao.
Dao. Okay, the Tai Chi, the Shaolin cane is something you do, I assume, with a walking cane.
Yeah.
Okay, and also the Tai Chi fan, which is something I assume you do with a fan.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, we go into 2010. What I'm looking at are the dates from 2000, 2003 to 2010. You started with these martial arts, and then I'm looking from 2010 to 2017, you were with George Yen, who was a student of Master Singh.
Yeah, that was at the Department of Justice. We regularly, with Lily Hood, we would go and we would do.
Okay, so you did that there with George Yen for 7 years.
Yeah.
You were at the Department of Justice doing Tai Chi.
On our break time.
On your break time. So you had already some...
You know, like I said, there's so many forms of the Tai Chi, and the different masters teach it a different way.
What is Tai Chi?
The ultimate.
I know, that's what the book said. The ultimate fist.
The ultimate fist, yes.
Yeah.
And it's a meditative exercise. And,
but it's a martial art.
It's a martial art. What I like is that various movements also, you see them out on the outside, but they also work the internal organs, which is important. And you really become very aware of your body. I think one of the T-shirts that Soma has, it says, "When I move, I meditate."
Yeah.
Okay, and that's it. That, you know, you in a meditative state, and it helped, I think, also with any stress that was coming my way when I was working at the Department of Justice. I would, be doing Tai Chi sometimes in my head, thinking, that I've got 3 minutes to do this, but it's okay.
Okay, so, you make the point of it being very conducive to health and good health and so forth. And I got to tell you, for a 96-year-old woman, you really look like...
I'm 72.
72, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I must be thinking about your mom.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm just kidding.
Right.
But when you started doing these things, I want to take you a bit more into where you were with your Tai Chi from 2011 to 2020. This is before the pandemic hit us. You were training with Doug and Margaret Robeson. These are instructors for Lightning Tai Chi School under Master Singh. This is Lightning Tai Chi.
Yes,
okay, I need 24 Tai Chi gown, 48 form, Sun style 73 form, Tai Chi form.
Yes.
These are different forms of the same thing.
Right, and Doug and Margaret and Lee and Orwan.
Show us some pictures of these people and tell us
let's see if I can find. I would have Doug and Margaret here. I have George Yin. Oh, interesting. I don't have Doug and Margaret's in my... I'll have to add them.
Yeah.
Okay. This is George.
Can we all see that?
I don't know if you can see George Yin here. And
you can't introduce every particular person.
No, I can't. Okay, but there's a Maria and folks that were ever so special at that event. Okay, a long time ago. And when I tested for 24 Tai Chi Yang style at Dr. Singh's his studio, that was way back then.
Who took the picture?
I'm not sure. I think Peter may have taken the picture.
If you would hold it up, maybe we'd see it a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And also real quick.
Okay, here you are with Master Tom, is that correct?
That was Master Tom in 2012 when I won second place. Second place.
I'd like to say something about the second place win at the competition in Pasadena. Zola Salena, after having studied for I think about 4 years, 5 years, was able to go to an international competition in Pasadena, held in, I think, Pasadena Auditorium or one of those places.
It was the third Southern California Evergreen Cup Tai Chi Chuan Championship.
Okay. As most of us know, people who've been studying Asian martial arts study a long time before they feel that they are able to compete in international contests and so forth and so on. I think you did a remarkable thing in being able to take your previous involvement with physical arts and also the combination of your mental strength and go and participate with people from China, whichever China you want to just designate, it was from China, from Mexico, from other different places, and take a trophy for second place. Now I have to say this in all honesty. I was filming her, and there were people around me, mostly Asians. I think maybe they're all Chinese, most of them were Chinese. And they said to me, "This is your wife?" I said, "Yeah, that's my wife." They said, "She won." These were, honest, just spectators. They said, "She won." I said, "Well, they gave her second place." And I got to, well, what can I say? I had the feeling they were saying she was cheated. And I'll just let it go at that. But winning second place in that type of competition is something.
And those are spectators, and so oftentimes spectators see something that the judges don't.
Well,
and unfortunately, that Margaret told me that they were announcing my name because they were doing it all in Mandarin, I think, and I didn't know what they were saying. I did not hear my name, but anyway, I got the certificate.
What about the trophies behind you? Can you say something about that?
Okay, this is 2012. This is the
2012.
this is the trophy I got for second place with the dowel.
That's the sword, right?
Yes, the sword. Broadsword.
The broadsword. Can you put it there?
Well, let me put it.
Not in front of you.
Well, there we go. And then this one. This is the year we went to Africa. Okay, in 2014. And so I didn't have a dowel to practice while we were in Ghana, and I had to use a machete. And
a real sword.
A real machete, yes, okay, to practice with. So I only won third place with practicing with the dowel at that time.
So what we have now is an ongoing martial arts career. Can you talk a little bit about what it is that you're doing on Sunday?
Oh, on Sunday we do Zoom.
I don't know what that means.
Okay, it's
Zoom, 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 capoeira, mataroon.
Okay, not that Zoom. Anyway, it's a social media application where you can contact people, and we're doing a from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock every Sunday. We're on Zoom, and I put the link down for people. And we're doing 24 Tai Chi. We're doing some
Shaolin
Cane, a couple of moves with the fan, doing breathing exercises.
Very important. Can you really talk a little bit about the breathing thing, especially concerning these times where a lot of people are breathing behind masks, and some people who are graduating from the mask who are doing shallow breathing?
Yes. Now, breathing is extremely important, and with the Qigong form, which is a form of exercise prior to Tai Chi that helps you do your breathing. One thing that I learned not too long ago is when you're breathing in your nose, say there's a method of sitting up, sit-ups, where you can sit in a chair and do a sit-up.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is you breathe in your nose, and then when you breathe out, because when you're breathing in your nose, if you're breathing correctly, your tummy, your chest kind of inflates. And so when you breathe out through your mouth, you take your belly button and you intentionally pull your belly button in to touch your spine. And this works your muscles, your stomach muscles, your
esophagus,
your rectus abdominis, okay?
You and your Latin.
Right? Your rhomboids. It works mainly all of these muscles that you normally would be doing for sit-ups without working the psoas muscles, which are used in your walking. So you want to work those. But if you do, like you do with the breathing, so when you're breathing in, and then breathing out, and hold it. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. Then breathing in. Then breathing out. Hold it. And try to push your navel all the way to your spine. And you can do it the same way, turning. And so it's a great exercise to do when you're working hard and you want to break up, you want to relax. And if you're breathing in and your stomach or your chest is inflating, you're breathing more correctly, like babies breathe. All right.
That's what they do. They just...
Yeah, because we tend to breathe rather shallow, right? And then, of course, wearing masks, people have had very issues. And, and it's important to breathe, stay hydrated, and exercise 30 minutes every day.
This is advice that we are giving those who attend the Zoom class on Sunday. And unfortunately, our time has come to an end. We could go on and on and on for quite a little while.
Thank you.
But I have to say, this has been Zola Salena's Moment in Time. I'm sure we'll have many others in the future.
You won't trick me again this way.
Yes, well, that's what I do. As the guy said, that's what I do!
That's what you do. And what do you do, by the way? You've been reading
We're
books.
not going to get into that now. We're going to end this particular...
Oh, all right. So you've been reading books. You have to stay tuned for his books. His website is www.odiehawkins.com.
As a matter of fact, I'm reading one tomorrow.
Yes. This is my husband who brings me great joy and deeply appreciates you.
Oh, my goodness, please. You're making me feel like I should make you talk more and keep you on your moment.
No. And again, more itness.
Itness.
And you have to watch the videos to know about itness.
Well, it starts off like, well, how can I put that? This is I. This is T. I, T. It's spelled it. You'll have to pay more attention and look at the moment more to find out what it means.
Thank you very much.
Hey, where you are? See you around the corner.
See you around the corner.
Love your trophies.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Love you more.
Love you more.
Ciao.